Good evening, YouTube. You guys are now watching another segment of the TCGPlayer, King of Games. And today, I have a special treat for you guys, ladies and gentlemen. This would have probably been done a lot sooner if I paid attention to my boy Christian. He has a spicy, and when I mean spicy, it is like, wow, it's some insane Mexican food type Lightsworn deck. Let's go ahead and start the video so you guys can get well acclimated to what exactly I am talking about. And you guys are going to see something really interesting. So let me go ahead and give it a pause right here. You're going to see Yimmy or Christian's hand in this particular sequence. He has World Legacy Succession, Felice the Lightsworn Archer, Wolf the Lightsworn Beast, Solar Recharge, and Perform a Trick Clown. So if you guys already known, Lightsworn is an incredibly good engine for decks that like to send certain cards from the deck to the graveyard or thrive off of being to the deck to the graveyard, but it has one small drawback. The first drawback being that Lightsworn cards normally send cards from the deck to the graveyard during the end phase, and the second drawback is that you have to deal with these cards to compensate. Felice the Lightsworn Archer cannot be normal summoned or set, and same thing with Wolf Lightsworn Beast. They must be sent from the decks to the graveyard in order to get their full capabilities to be able to link crime. Now this is mitigated with cards like Solar Recharge, being able to discard it from your hand to the graveyard, but it is an Ash Blossom prone target. But other than that, Lightsworns do have some secret sauce going on, and Christian's going to be piloting. Fast forward, he's going to start off with the Solar Recharge to wait, hold on, what? Did he just mill the Giant Rex and then special summon it off of the Gigantes? You guys remember the Burning Abyss profile that I showed you guys and showed you the Earth concepts? Well, this particular Lightsworn deck is going to be using those Earth concepts, using Gigantes to banish the Giant Rex, and now we have two monsters for the price of one, and all he had to do was activate and resolve a Solar Recharge. So Christian is already in a really good spot with two Earth monsters on the field, but it gets even better. Perform a Hat Tricker is a Spellcaster Earth monster. So what happens when you have a Spellcaster, a Dinosaur, and a Rock Earth monster all on your side of the field? Well, you can use them all for a link summon into one of the best Lightsworn monsters to existed. One of the better Lightsworn link monsters, the only Lightsworn link monster, Curious the Lightsworn Dominion, which allows you to send cards like Felice and also your Wolf Lightsworn Beast, but as well as your Block Dragon to your graveyard and your Glow Bulb so you can gain more effects. And it also sends cards from your deck to your graveyard, so that's also really nice to have. Being able to further on, he's going to summon Black Dragon into Nightmare Phoenix, add two Gigantes from his deck to his hand because Black Dragon is just that pivotal. And then he's going to make a Notoria Beast World Legacy Succession into Abyss Dweller. Now, before my man's Edgelord Guilford coming with the super edge right now, let's take a second to admire this board. Christian opened Solar Recharge and Wolf the Lightsworn Beast. He did not open a very optimal hand, and he was still able to make Curious the Lightsworn Dominion, Nightmare Phoenix, Abyss Dweller, and a Notoria Beast all on his side of the field against a lot of decks. You could say against like Salomon Great, that's going to be really hard to get over. That Abyss Dweller preventing those monster effects in the graveyard. Against spell heavy decks like Sky Striker, Notoria Beast is a problem. So you guys can say that this deck is not that bad. And if he could have put another monster on his board, or actually he didn't even need to put another monster on his board, he could have used one of them to make a link on top, and then he could have made a Nightmare Griffin possibly in the works, something that I could see happening, allow him to discard the Fleece to set a card like World Legacy Succession 1-for-1 or Solar Recharge back to his side of the field and draw an additional card. So yes, Lightsworns are definitely being playable inside of 2019, and it's insane to see how good Christian has made this deck. So as you guys can see, Edgelord Guilford is coming with the edgiest of the edgiest cards. He's gonna go ahead and Kaiju my man Christian, getting rid of the Notoria Beast and then interrupting Kaiju Slumber, both all of his monsters to give him another Gamso and a Jizuku. So let's go ahead and pause right now. I know you guys are wondering, hey, TheCaliEffect, you already control a Kaiju. You can't give your opponent a Kaiju if you've already controlled the Kaiju. Well, don't worry. TheCaliEffect is always here for rulings. Basically, interrupted Kaiju Slumber, it almost ignores everything that you've known about Yu-Gi-Oh! As an official ruling that you can activate Slumber even if there's Kaijus on the field. So don't worry about it, ladies and gentlemen. And Edgelord Guilford is going to be piloting Trains, ladies and gentlemen, using Revolving Switchyard and the Kaiju to make the Gandari. That's going to be game. So we're going to go ahead and pause one more time. I hope I'm not getting too much in you guys' way, just pausing the game and interacting with the game. But you guys seen how perfect Edgelord had to open to break that board. Not only did he need to not play a deck that was, interruptible by the Abyss Dweller, he also needed two Kaijus, a Kaiju Slumber and a regular Kaiju to break this board. You can't expect your opponent to have those type of hands every single time, but sometimes you got to do the Kanye West shrug shrug because it happens, ladies and gentlemen. Opening into this hand, we're going to see Yimi with a pretty decent hand, not so optimal to draw for least Lightsworn Archer, but he does have a solar recharge to follow up with it with a global Imperial Order in Gigantes. Fast forwarding into the next play, he's going to go ahead and solar recharge those cards to the graveyard, get a Wolf Lightsworn Beast 1-for-1, the Dot Scraper, reinforcement of the army, the Raiden Hand of Lightsworn, Raiden Hand Lightsworn. It's going to get him Black Dragon into his graveyard. Minerva's going to send more cards. Felice into Rapodicus into Gigantes with Dot Scraper to make your curious. Send that Feliz Navidad to the graveyard, summon another one, get Giant Rex, Hat Tricker into your hand, banish 3 for a Block Dragon, and he's going to basically make the exact same play. So for you ladies and gentlemen that said, oh, this deck is not consistent, well, you guys seen Christian basically open up with one hand not so good looking, and then another hand, you know, a little better, but still not the greatest hand, and still, basically, he can still pretty much make the exact same board that he was going to make, if not make some really insane link plays that will get him ahead of the game. So Global brings it back for Notoria Beast, using those 2 for a link summon, and what? Is that a Borreload Savage Dragon with the Rapodicus as a link? Now, that is insane, and he has enough monsters to summon Block Dragon back to his side of the field and still gain its resources effect to allow him to add some rock monsters from his deck to his hand. So Borreload Savage Dragon, Notoria Beast, Lampfornicus, this is a little interesting spot to be in, but this is no joke, ladies and gentlemen, to deal with these two. I definitely think that Yimi should play the Nightmare Griffin, because even if you can't gain the special summon or monster effects that cannot be activated unless they point to it effect, it would be really good to be able to point it to a monster, or to have it point to both Notoria Beast and Borreload Savage Dragon, maybe even your extra monster zone, or the extra monster zone on top of it a little open. But if it points to those two, you can still discard dead cards from your hand. Not in this particular situation, he doesn't have dead cards, but you can still discard those dead cards from your hand to set Solar Recharge, Charge the Light Brigade, and your Reinforcement Army. It's something I definitely consider. I would try to make room for, because it's an incredibly powerful card. Edgelord Guilford already starting off really strong, summoning against trains, but whoa, it looks like he's gonna scoop. He can't handle the Borreload Savage Dragon and the Notoria Beast. So going ahead, Edgelord's gonna go ahead and go first, but let's go ahead and pause this real quick. Actually, it's already paused. Goblin Emerald, Gigantes, World Legacy Session, Raiden and Lightsworn, and the Rock Spirit. This is a hand that does not have Solar Recharge in his opening sequence, but I still think that Christian has some really good plays, because Goblin and Bird is an Earth Warrior. Gigantes is a Rock Earth. All he has to do is provide another Earth monster to his side of the field to make curious, and then that's where the deck can really shine. We're going to go ahead and start off. Edgelord's going to start off by summoning one of his best monsters. He's going to go ahead and make the Gandora, but it just so happens that Christian plays 6 cards that say, hey, I'm going to dig through my deck. 3 of them happens to be Charge the Light Brigade. The other 3 happens to be the Rock Spirit. And he didn't necessarily get too lucky. He didn't send the cards that he needed from his deck to his graveyard, but he did get a Wolf. He's going to go ahead and follow up with Goblin Nimberg and then use its effect to special summon Lila, Light and Lit to destroy the Urgent Schedule, and then start exceeding off into Minerva, linking off to Rapodicus, and whoa, look what we have here. We have Curious the Lightsworn Dominion. Now, let me go ahead and pause for you guys. The reason why he's still linked off into Curious Lightsworn Dominion would be a little skewed, because, you know, Rapodicus is a dinosaur, you know, and Giant Rex is a dinosaur, but I think this is fixable, because all you have to do is summon the Giant Rex under the Rapodicus and then turn Giant Rex into a monster, not a rock or a dinosaur, and voila, you have your Curious the Lightsworn Dominion anyways. It looks like you don't mind if I change Giant Rex into something else. It looks like this, you know, they're going a little casual on it, and I think he used the glow up effect. But again, if Christian would have just pointed the Rapodicus to the Giant Rex and then just changed it, he wouldn't have had to use his glow bulb if that was his decision. So basically, flash forwarding into this game, yeah, he used 2 dinosaur security. So basically, fast forwarding into this game, he's gonna go ahead and bring back glow bulb. So whoa, how do you get back glow bulb? This is crazy, but he just used glow bulb again. Well, whatever. Just basically assume that he used Rapodicus to turn his Giant Rex into, I don't know, a fairy monster. It doesn't really matter. But onto the play, he's going to bring out a global Block Dragon and Raiden and continue on with his combo sequence, special summoning multiple monsters to his side of the field, making Saryuja, Skull Dread, Borreload Savage Dragon, adding Gigantes to his hand, and the Rock Spirit off of Black Dragon. He has extenders for days, ladies and gentlemen, making a Trishula, Dragon of the Ice Bear, and proceeds to break Edgelord Guilford's board. Now, there is one more thing I wanted to point out. I don't think that a lot of people or just realize that Machine of Fortress does have quite a few good effects. First of all, it can be spell summoned by discarding any monster that equals to 8 or more. If you guys wanted a quick market watch, quote unquote, this is a card that I feel that everybody should start picking up. It's not worth much, and it's definitely a card that's only had maybe 1 or 2 prints. So here's a little market watch inside of this. Go ahead and pick up Machine of Fortress, and then also when it is targeted, you get to look at one card in your opponent's hand and discard 1 card from their hand before resolving that effect. So that's pretty good. I mean, I just thought that those two would be pretty good. And then it also has another effect to destroy, I'm sorry, hold on, let me read it. If this card is destroyed by battle and sits in the graveyard, target one card your opponent controls, destroy that target. So Borlo Savage Dragon obviously has to use this effect to negate that, but still, it has so much value inside of a 2500 monster that can basically continuously bring itself back to the side of the field by discarding Machine. So you guys heard it from me, new market watch. So go ahead and fast forwarding into this place. It looks like Edgelord is not going to win this game. This is pretty much over unless he has some miracle card to draw. No, it looks like he's gonna go ahead and lose this game right here and right now. It looks like we are 11 minutes into this video. Let me show you the deck profile so we can wrap this all up. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, on to the deck profile. Christian is running 3 Block Dragon. This card is really essential and is one of the key pieces to Burning Abyss Earth decks, and will be really powerful in Lightsworn. What it does is that it cannot be normal summoned or set. Plot twist, you guys should be picking up this card too. I feel like it's something that everybody should have. It can be special summoned from your hand or graveyard by banishing 3 Earth monsters from your hand and or graveyard. It cannot be special summoned by other ways. Rock type monsters you control cannot be destroyed except by battle. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add the 3 rock type monsters from your deck to your hand whose levels equal to 8. So yes, this card is the catalyst of the deck. It allows you to continuously be able to summon monsters to your side of the field, as well as search Gigantes and a Rock Spirit from your deck to your hand for free. Next is Dot Scraper. It is a level 1 Cyberse monster that will be special summoned from the graveyard when it is banished, or will be special summoned when it is banished or sent to the graveyard. 3 copies of Felice Navidad, one of the better Lightsworns in the deck. It is a wolf that can destroy cards and mill cards. Gareth, the Lightsworn Warrior. This card's pretty powerful when you combine it with your Minerva or your Curious on your field, because it allows you to mill additional Lightsworn cards and then draw cards up to the Lightsworn cards that he milled himself. Giant Rex, free extender, especially when you compare it with your Gigantes. Gigantes is a terror, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, what it does is that it can special summon itself by banishing 1 Earth monster in your graveyard, but the best thing about this card is that if this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, destroy all spells and trap cards on the field. It is a heavy storm. Global, you guys should know what that does. 3 copies of Goblinenberg, which is basically a summon monster that can be an extender. It is a warrior and an Earth monster, so this plus, a monster to summon that's Earth, and plus Gigantes will get you your free Curious. Lumina for extension plays, Lila for back row disruption. Perform Age Damage Juggler is really powerful because it can add your Hat Trickers, which are spellcaster monsters that can spell summon themselves to the side of the field. And it can also add your Trick Clown, which if sent to the graveyard can special summon itself. So it's also a hand trap, so it provides a little bit of utility. 3 Raidens, because this is probably the best main deck Lightsworn monster. I was gonna say hand trap. 3 Rock Spirits, because it's the exact same as Gigantes. It is a Earth monster that can summon itself. 3 Wolf Lightsworn Beast extenders. So basically he runs 3, 6, 7, 10. He basically runs 13 extenders, 16 extenders inside of his main deck. He's going to make some really good link plays. 3 Charge Light Brigades, Monster Reborn, 1-for-1, Reinforcement of the Army, 3 Solar Recharge, World Legacy Succession. These are basically just more extenders, putting them at 18, and then Imperial Order for those spell negations. Now for the extra deck, or for the side deck, 3 Ash Blossoms, 2 Gam Seals, 3 Twin Twisters, 3 Evenly Matched, 3 Red Reboot, and that 1 tech copy of Royal Decree. Now, do I think that Christian's build is the absolute end of it? No, there were definitely some things that I would, tweak around just a little bit, see how they work. But I do think that this, he does run the Nightmare Griffin, but I do think this is a base for a really, really potent Lightsworn deck that, in 2019, it's still pretty viable. And not knocking Christian, I think that this is excellent. Seriously, I think I wouldn't really change much if I were to change anything about this deck, but it's just excellent. I wish that I had the idea before he did. Going into his extra deck, Black Rose Dragon, Borlode Savage Dragon, Notoria Beast, Trishula, Abyss Dweller, 2 copies of Minerva, Boral Sword Dragon, the Curious, most important extra deck card in his extra deck probably. Nightmare Griffin, Cards Insane, Nightmare Phoenix, Unicorn, Land Fornicus, and Reproducus with a Saryuja Skull Dread. This deck is completely mental if you ask me, ladies and gentlemen. I love how it plays. I love what I've seen, and I'm really tempted to make the deck myself and do it for a live duel. But thank you guys so much for watching another segment of the Cali Effect. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and give it a like, and if you didn't, let us know in the comment section what we could do to be better. Also, be sure to get this video to as many likes as possible. We really need to see this series grow, and we need your help. Please like, comment, subscribe, but most of all, enjoy. I hope you guys are having a great day like I am.